Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, everyone. We're here at the Jefferson County Road Department meeting, December 24th. We've got a few sets of minutes to approve. We got October 8th, we got October 29th, November 19th, and November 26th. Entertain a motion for approval.
I'll second that motion. I move to approve as read.
All right, we got a second, we got a motion. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, we're all set there. What's going on, Bear? I know you just got back, huh?
Yeah, just got back and getting back into the swing of things in time for a few days off.
Good for you. Yeah.
So, nope, not much going on. The weather's really screwing with us.
Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, 50 degrees yesterday after
Mhm.
down the valley. Could have had graders out if the ground wasn't.
Yeah,
froze.
this ground's thawed, yeah.
Yeah, the only issue we've kind of had is kind of ongoing issues that wedding venue up Warm Springs Creek. We had a phone call, the gentleman next door to it had put a mailbox in a driveway across the street. This is the driveway of the people that own the wedding venue. They're fighting and squabbling over where that's supposed to be,
May
and
not see you again.
we
So
Oh,
Merry Christmas.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
You
Merry
enjoy your
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes, I will do
Wish
that.
you
went
well.
out there with the
Yeah.
deputies at one
Thank you.
point.
Thank
Nice to
uh,
meet you. I'll hug you again. Sorry, guys.
Catch you about that office up in the north end too, Craig?
The what?
You gonna wanna use the office on the north end?
I might as well use my house. It's 3 miles from here.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have
And
someone
my-
to meet people though.
Yeah.
There's a
and I
conference
can.
room, there's a conference room there.
Yep.
Yeah, so
That would be nice to use the conference room. I don't think I'll ever use the office.
I don't have,
It's the
I don't have a
office itself.
combination to the office anymore. That's kind of fell by the wayside, but everybody else does, Doug does, and all the law enforcement. But I don't,
We're paying a rent on that, aren't we?
we're paying the rent.
Yeah.
Monthly rent, so we can figure that out if you wanna do it or not.
Yeah,
I
I
think
can
we're,
talk to Lynn
Yeah.
and get a code.
You could get a code for that,
Yep.
yeah.
I can get a code from him. So-
Yeah, if you want to get in there, but I've got the code for the door, the outside door and the conference room.
In the college. Perfect. Yeah, if you just wanna put it on a sticky note or whatever. I'll be here at the 31st meeting too, so. We can do whatever. I'm gonna go see if I can get an email out of Shane and. Go from there.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
great, Craig.
So anyway, we went up with the deputies on there a while ago to kind of just see if this was in the county right away. We couldn't determine without a survey, but we explained to the gentleman that's complaining and put the mailbox in. But the issue, he's wanting us to do a survey. We told him we won't do surveys. If he wants to know where it's at, he's got to do it. Dylan dealt with him last week. We're finally at a point where he understands it's on him now, but just making it aware of that. Guys up north, again, pretty slow, just sanding is needed. They're going out every morning, checking all the roads, making sure if anything's froze overnight or anything needs to be taken care of. Couple of shaded areas we're having lingering issues with, but nothing too major. Working on a lot of shop maintenance and improvements. We're working on improving the water system up there. That stuff was nasty. It leaves residue on all the equipment. It smells like sulfur. You can't drink it. Leaves stains in the toilets because it's well water.
In the shop?
Yeah, so we had to have a plumber come in and put in a new valve because there was no way to shut the water off to the shop. And then I believe it was Colgan was coming in and we're getting a new system that'll help treat that water, clean it, get rid of a lot of the smell and the odor and make it safer water. So that'll be nice to have, at least keep the equipment cleaner. Doing a lot of tree trimming. They're going around a lot of these roads and just the smaller trees that are starting to grow right along the edge of the right of ways, getting those out of the way before they become problems. They have been watering Corbin as much as possible or as needed. Keep it every day or two and getting up there. Older guys still working on our brush mitigation down on Quintus Lane. Pretty well got that just about wrapped up. They're down just doing some cleanup work today. Dropped a couple big cottonwoods that yesterday that were leaning over the road and looks really good down there. Working on some equipment maintenance today in the shop as well. And the Whitehall guys pretty much been up here helping on that brush mitigation. They did have a day last week where they went and did some brush in Whitehall as well with that mulcher head.
Are you able to keep that on site and be able to burn, or you have to haul
So,
it back here?
No, all that stuff we're hauling just down the road to Moby Gulch's gravel pit, right there on the corner of Warm Springs. We've been hauling there for almost 2 seasons now. We've got quite a pile, and if we ever get some snow, we're gonna burn it.
Burn it there.
They let us haul it in there. They've had a dozer in there recently, been pushing the pile up for us and
Oh, good.
working good with them.
Great.
Once we get that done, we gotta get with, Brett Smith is gonna probably be the next one down the valley that right there near his house is getting really overgrown. Could be a little bit trickier though, cause a lot of that stuff is in the fence. So we're gonna have to kind of look at what he's wanting to do or what he's willing to have us do.
Hmm.
But it does make a big difference, helps eliminate a lot of drifting problems. And his
Yeah.
house is one of the worst down there. We've had to go down and plow right by the house just because it's the only snow in the valley.
Yeah,
Been working with DNRC the last couple weeks on that issue with Spring Creek where it's just running out of the bank. So I had to go back up and get him some more pictures yesterday. We'll get those over to him. It looks like we can go. I think the easiest way to fix it, if they'll let us do it, is just get our mini X in there and clean out some of the brush and trees and then dig all the sediment that's washed down and settled in there out and kind of reestablish that bank, and it should eliminate that problem. Just depends on what they're willing to let us do.
That's on
So,
private property. We probably have
yeah.
to get permission to get in there. Huh?
Yeah. So I don't think it's gonna be too big of a deal to accomplish. We just need to get some permissions and plans in place, and we'll get the homeowner involved and go from there.
Permits and all that good stuff. Huh?
Yeah. So. Another fun creek issue is up on Halford Lane. We got a culvert that's failing. This bank is starting to give way. It'll hold for a while, but definitely needs to be replaced. It's a 8-foot culvert across there.
Oh, wow.
So it's rather large. Plus, it's the only way in and out of that subdivision
Where's that at?
up off of Lump Gulch.
Okay.
Just past the substation there, that road that kind of veers to the right and then takes off through the bottoms, and there's houses up on the north side there.
That's the only way in and out of that one.
It's the only way in and out. So that one's gonna be a fun one because
at 8 foot's needed. I mean, culvert.
it's a big flood zone. Yeah, I mean, it's one that when they did their flood map not that long, a couple of years ago, they did not want us to go any smaller.
Okay.
So
Is that close to the one they did on Sheep Mountain or? Sheep
it's
Mountain
quite a ways down.
is down from that.
Yeah, this is just above the substation.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope it's the first road or so on Lump, I think, yeah.
So we're gonna reach out to the engineers to see if there's any ways. We've talked to them at a couple of meetings about some possible repairs, but they aren't very optimistic. They said a lot of the repairs are gonna end up costing as much as replacement.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure with a culvert.
Yeah, they have liners, but for one that is as in bad shape as that one is, the liner may not be a feasible option. We are gonna look at the possibility of just putting a size smaller pipe through there and then grouting around it, put some concrete in there and downsizing one size, but we don't know if that will meet floodplain requirements.
Little to the right, Corey.
I think this is Long Gulch here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
on the
Halford goes
line,
north, Halford goes north there.
Or
Right on that center line there. But it collects everything from up above.
Wow, that's a big bunch of houses, huh?
Yeah,
Nothing connects over to this other road.
There's not much there, no.
We can see if Mark's will let us temporarily go through his place,
and that might be our only option.
depending on what this looks like between here and here, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I believe there's an old road that cuts through from the end of that Liverpool road down to
Liverpool,
Marks.
that is the name of it, Liverpool, yeah.
Okay.
But
That
just
runs all the way.
whether or not they'll provide access, I'm sure he will. Steve's.
If
pretty
it's a
good
day or
work
two,
with,
we
yeah,
might let people through there, but
yeah.
if it's a week or two, we may not.
Well, and that's, we're gonna get with them. We may end up just putting it out for bid for a contractor, because I think they'll be more capable of getting it done in a faster time frame.
Or they can put in a temporary bridge next to it or something.
I don't know how you're gonna do that, because it's raised, the road's elevated quite a bit over.
Oh, is
the-
it?
Yeah, I mean, you're 9-10 feet above the lower elevation
It's all
there.
swampy in
Yeah.
there.
So it's gonna take some planning. I think it's good through the spring, but we'll definitely, before that creek starts running a lot of runoff in the spring, want to address that. So, but we'll get with Great West and see how they want to proceed on it.
Yeah.
Just more dollars.
You have a projected time frame you're looking at maybe?
Well, I'd like to have it done in the spring
Right.
before runoff starts, but it's one that it's right on that borderline of what our equipment's capable of, just having the reach and the equipment available. So it may just be more feasible to have a contractor come and do it. Cause they could probably get it done in a day. Where it might take us a couple days. The traffic is the biggest issue. If we can find an alternate route, we'll be okay, but. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet, just trying to get the guys stuff to do. We need it to snow or warm up a lot.
Everybody's gonna be gone Thursday, you know?
Yeah, I think I've got one, maybe two guys that are planning on coming in on Thursday for right now, which could change, but everybody knows if we get any kind of weather or other issues, they're all just a phone call away. Nobody's gonna be out of town or anything, so.
Didn't see much on the forecast for any moisture.
No, and it sounds like most all of them are gonna be leaving early today as well, just to get some final Christmas shopping done, so.
You get to church.
Yeah, we're pretty, there's a lot to do. We have no shortage of work. It's just Mother Nature's not cooperating one way or the other. Been kind of nice. We haven't had snowplows breaking down. Yeah,
It's a strange one.
and then I only printed off one copy just because it's a pretty rough deal, but these are what the reports from the road guard system will look like. Apparently I lost one of the pages, but this is kind of going back. Oh, double-sided on me. Since the beginning of when we got the system, some of these roads that are showing really bad, we've fixed since this. So it's not real accurate, but it's just kind of what we'll start doing, especially come the spring, of what they'll look like. I'll bring a report every week to see what our top 10 worst sections of roads are. And what will be our priorities for the following week, and give you data.
Does the public have access to that data?
Not at this time. If we get to a point where we feel it's good enough for them to see, we can provide a kind of a public portal.
Public now means me, you know. so.
In a week, you'll be the public, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
No,
Yeah.
not yet. Yeah, it's one of those that we want to make sure we know what we're doing with the system and how it's looking, and there may be things that, not that we're trying to hide anything, but I'm afraid if we say there's a section of road that we don't get to for 2-3 weeks, we're gonna start getting phone calls of, why haven't you inspected that in the last 2 weeks? And you know, that's phone calls we don't need to generate.
Yeah, you don't need that kind of crap, you know.
So maybe it's something we can figure out, disclaimers or some information like that. We provide a portal. At this time, it's just gonna be for us internally. But made a few upgrades that came out yesterday that'll make it easier for us to designate certain areas. Like we can go, used to be just draw a big box to highlight a certain area. Now we can go in and actually draw a line around a certain area so we can better designate our road districts. The county area itself.
Figure out a way to get interstates out of there.
Yeah, right now we're just reducing the speed limit on the filters.
Okay.
So that's, yeah, I just drop it down to 50 because we don't have any roads above a 35. Then that eliminates all the interstate. They are in the process with another county. They can actually look at the data and tell if a rough patch is a bad section of road or if it's a category or a bridge based off of the data. So they're gonna eliminate those from the samples. They've got the slope stuff in there now, but they're still working on how we can utilize that into our filters. And then they are working on, I think I've mentioned, getting the camera footage synced with their maps so that we can have some, at least a visual. It wouldn't be live recurring uploaded data, but at least we can have a visual reference of a bad section of road and be able to pull that up. They've got quite a bit that they're doing. And they did send out a kind of a preliminary cost if we wanted to add more units on a lease program. Looked pretty good, but we'll kind of review that, see where the funding's at and what we really want to get. Bring that back to you guys next week for some direction, but. Definitely been an interesting tool to use. It's very exciting to see some things, so.
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing off the bat, we're gonna definitely be reducing some time on sections of road that don't need to be graded and just saving the amount of time we're spending on roads, grading roads that don't need it. And being able to hit the bad spots a little bit more often. Help us reduce our, 1, 2, 3 days on a grading a road, that's almost paying for a unit. Plus, it's gonna allow us to get out on the other projects that need to get done and better utilize our time. That's about all I got for today. Still playing catch up from last week, so.
cool. Gentlemen, have anything for Bear today?
No, sir.
I just have my usual Corbin Road. I get a few calls a week on it. Probably the biggest thing right now is rocks breaking tires, which I thought was just kind of an anomaly, but I'm getting more and more calls. I don't know if it's a hard surface or if the grounding got sharp rocks or if there's rocks on it. I was gonna go up and take a look at it, but I don't know what.
I'd like to see the tires, because I'd wager that most of the tires that are getting flats from a rock are bald.
Yeah, well, I think both the ones that I've talked to said they were new tires. And the one guy said he's getting about a flat a week and he's been taking it back to the tire shop and they're giving him better tires and better tires and better tires, but he's still back. I don't know how he said probably 7 out of the 80s had flats on, but anyways, just be aware of that. If you're up there, take a look at it. I don't know why that's happening, but
I'm not sure, because we have a
Strange.
it is strange.
few hundred miles of gravel road in the county and don't have that issue on any other road. And it's not any sharper rocks or anything different.
And they're asking about possibly getting it graded. I don't know how long this hot dry is gonna be, but it's getting rougher than rough, I guess.
It's still frozen though.
Is it frozen?
Yeah, the ground's froze right now.
And we're watering it, that
Yeah.
probably makes it even more frozen.
I just tried putting some concrete sticks in to mark some stuff down here at the yard 2 weeks ago, and I could barely get the concrete sticks in a couple inches. It was so hard.
Okay,
And that wasn't in a driving surface either. That was just on the
Right.
shoulder. So everything still froze because we're getting the colder temps at night,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
especially with the amount of moisture we're dumping on that road.
pretty good and froze now. Okay, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, it'd be
Yes.
nice to be able to do that.
It'd be nice to smooth it out, absolutely,
But it's too hard.
yeah. Okay,
But
I
if they slow down their driving, it
That's,
shouldn't be that.
when I was up there yesterday, man, the speeds these people are coming out of there at, they're definitely not doing 35, 40.
Yeah,
one guy that I talked to, he lived up there his whole life and he said before they chip sealed that, they were having, when the mine. I don't know what it was, when they crushed their rocks or whatever, they used that for gravel, which made real sharp pieces. They said they had problems with flats forever. Until they chip sealed it, then there was no flats, so I don't know if we ground up some sharp stuff or what, but he said now we're having the problem again, so. But hopefully we'll have that alleviated. in the spring.
ballast or something that they used in there. or
Yeah, when
something,
they crush the rocks, it
Yeah.
makes them sharp, so.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyways, that's, I think, all the issues that I've heard of. No snow, nobody complaining, so.
Yeah, this is a rough time for us when we don't have snow to cover all the bad roads,
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do. And
You can't grade the roads.
just can't grade them. It's too cold to put, do a lot of the work that we would be doing and clean up and brush trim them. And that's all we can do right now.
Yeah, hopefully we get some snow.
As much as I don't like the word, I would almost agree with you at this point.
At least in the mountain, come on.
Yeah, we need a
the-
snow pad.
Need the moisture.
That's pretty brutal.
Morning.
We-
Morning, Kyle.
Bear, what exactly is the issue?
Dan, Bob, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Connor.
The guy put in the mailbox where?
Bob,
So,
we've been hunting for you. We wanna say a goodbye profile in the newspaper. Chick Bruce has been, hunting for you,
Has he?
has he? So.
Has he?
He hasn't found him yet.
No, I kind of avoid that.
Lose it.
so one of the neighbor that we've been talking to, there's like 5 houses right there. And they had a mailbox cluster where the one road came down to Warm Springs. I don't know why he decided to do it, but he moved his mailbox over into one of the road comes down kind of wise, and he moved his mailbox right into one of those Ys. I mean, I know why he did it, but I'm not gonna say it right now.
I thought
but
the
he-
mailbox had been there.
This was a new mailbox. Yeah, so he moved the mailbox, put a steel post in the ground to mount his mailbox on.
Okay,
That caused issues. So that's when the deputies were called to go up there.
okay.
You know, we had the conversation about mailboxes being in the right of way versus private property, and he wanted to know where that was at. And I said, this is what our survey shows, but to know exactly where this survey correlates to on the ground, you're gonna have to hire a surveyor to get that done.
It ended there.
It's just a feud. It's a neighbor feud. They're fighting each other tooth and nail up there. So
Wedding venue.
it's had zero impact upon our roads and anybody else, yet they're still fighting it tooth and nail. So
My son did a wedding up there.
it's a really nice venue.
All right, thank you, Bear.
You betcha. You have
Appreciate
a
it.
Merry Christmas and we'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas.
You too. I'm not sure if I'm gonna work